Hello Shell Coyotes, and welcome to a special right-handed edition of our Topic 3 review. In Topic 3 we cover multiplication of whole numbers and decimals in many different combinations. There's always more than one way to solve a problem, and we're going to focus on a few strategies to help you do your best when multiplying. Let's get started. First, we've got our vocabulary words. We don't have very much vocabulary for Topic 3. We have underestimate, overestimate, and variable. An underestimate is 20 times 30 is an underestimate for 23 times 34 because we rounded 23 down to 20 and 34 down to 30. So when we underestimate things, our answer is going to be lower than the actual answer is going to be. An overestimate is 30 times 50 is an overestimate for 27 times 45. Because you can see we rounded 27 up to 30 and 45 up to 50. So an overestimate is going to give us a higher estimate than what the actual number is going to be. And variable is a letter representing an unknown number. So for instance, 5 plus n equals 7. N would be the variable. In that case, n would be 2 because 5 plus 2 equals 7. So like I said, in Topic 3 we cover a lot of multiplication, and there are different ways that we're going to do it. I'm going to show you two different ways that we can solve this 3-digit times 2-digit problem here. We have 422 times 39. First we do 2 times 9, and that's 18. So I put my 8 down here and carry my 1 up. Then 9 times 2 again, that's 18, plus our 1 that we carried up makes 19. 9 times 4 is 36, plus 1 is 37. Now I scratch these out because I know that they're already taken care of and I don't want to get confused whenever I start multiplying from my tens place. Now that I am multiplying from my tens place, I need to put a 0 down here as a placeholder. Now I can do 3 times 2 is 6, 3 times 2 is 6, 3 times 4 is 12. Now all that's left to do is to add. 8 plus 0 is 8. 9 plus 6 is 15. 1 plus 7 plus 6 is 14. 1 plus 3 plus 2 is 6. Bring our 1 down. We have 16,458. We have to write our number out in expanded form. Since I have a 3-digit times a 2-digit number, I need to break this up into a 3x2 rectangle. So I'll write 422 in expanded form up here. 422. And then here we'll do 30 and 9. I'm going to erase my work over here, except for our answer, just so we can see a little bit better. Alright, so now I need to do 4 times 3 is 12. I left off 3 zeros, so that's 12,000. 2 times 3 is 6. I left off 2 zeros, so that's 600. 2 times 3 is 6. That's not negative 9, but negative 30. So that gives us 60. 4 times 9 is 36. And we left off 2 zeros, making 3,600. 2 times 9 is 18. And I left off 1 0. And 2 times 9 again is 18. All that's left now is for us to add these. We have many different ways that we can add these. We can add all 6 numbers in a long row. We can add them across horizontally. We can add them across vertically. I think I like doing the vertical addition best. 12,000 plus 3,600 is 15,600. 600 plus 180 is going to be 780. I hope you guys can read my writing. Sorry. Normally left-handed, but with the accident, now I'm going to be right-handed for a little while. 60 plus 18, 78. Now I can add everything together. Okay, I've done something wrong here. Oh, I forgot to carry my 1 up. 8 plus 7 is 15, and I forgot to carry my 1. So this is actually going to be 16,458. So if you make a mistake when you're doing your work, and you do it 2 different ways, you can always catch your mistakes by solving it 2 different ways, and it's pretty easy to see where that mistake was made. All right, we're going to... Okay, I've got $3.45 times 2 8/10. Whenever we're multiplying with decimals like this, you can see the decimal is there and there. I like to look at this as 345 times 28. Like I tell you guys in class, whenever you're multiplying with decimals, it's always best to just forget about it. Just forget about the decimals, and then we'll add them back in at the end. So we're going to multiply this like 345 times 28. So I'll get started. 5 times 8 is 40. 8 times 4 is 32, plus 4 is 36. 8 times 3 is 24, plus 3 is 27. Now I scratch out those so that I don't accidentally add them in later. Put my 0 in for my placeholder. 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 makes 9. 2 times 3 is 6. Now we can add. So we get 9,660. Oh wait, I forgot to put in my decimals. Okay, so now that we forget about our decimals, now we can come back and find out how many places we need to move it over. I left off 2 decimals on the top and 1 on the bottom. So I need to move my decimal a total of 3 times down here. So 1, 2, 3 places to the left. And that gives me 9 6600ths, or 9 660 thousandths. Let's estimate this and check and see if it's reasonable. I'm going to change 3 45 hundredths to 3, and 2 8/10 to 3. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 is close to our product, so this is a reasonable answer. All right, so we have 8 3/10 times 10, 8 3/10 times 100, and 8 3/10 times 1,000. When we're multiplying by 10, we move that decimal 1 place to the right because there's 1 0. When we multiply by 100, we move the decimal 2 places to the right because there are 2 zeros. When we multiply by 1,000, we move it 3 places to the right because there's 3 zeros. So that would look like this. 8 3/10 times 10 is going to be 83. You can see that decimal was here. Now it moved to over here. We don't have to write in a decimal on our whole numbers. We know where they're at. Whenever it's a whole number, our decimal is always going to be right there. 8 3/10 times 100. We're going to have to move it over 2 places. But we don't have another place to move over, so we can add a 0 in. So our decimal would now be right there. That's 830. 8 3/10 times 1,000 is 8,300 because we moved the decimal 1, 2, 3 times. All right, another way that you need to know how to multiply is using a grid and knowing how to read the grid model to see what multiplication problem is presented there. So to do that for our review, we're going to do 35 hundredths times 4. Now how I'm going to do this is I'm going to shade 35 hundredths in blue, then I'm going to shade 35 hundredths in purple, then I'm going to shade 35 hundredths in red, and then I'm going to shade the last 35 hundredths in brown. Then when we combine them all together, it'll tell us what the total, or what the product of 35 hundredths times 4 is. Okay, you can see I have 35 squares shaded. So there's 1/10, 2/10, 3/10, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hundredths, together making 35 hundredths. Next, I'm going to shade 35 more hundredths with my purple marker. Okay, I've shaded 35 more hundredths with my purple marker. So now I have a total of 7/10 shaded. So we know 35 hundredths times 2. Okay, I've shaded 35 hundredths with my red marker. So I know that 35 hundredths times 3 is 1 and 5 hundredths. Still not there. I have to do one more set of 35 hundredths so that I can do 35 hundredths times 4. I'll do that with my brown marker. Okay, now I have 35 hundredths shaded 4 different times in 4 different colors. So this represents 35 hundredths times 4. And I know that 35 hundredths times 4 is equal to 1 whole and 4/10. So 35 hundredths times 4 is equal to 1 and 4/10. You will see a problem similar to this on your test. The model will already be shaded for you, and you have to select which problem goes with the model. Well, that's it. You should be set for your test. I hope you do well. Study hard, focus on the vocabulary, and remember to, when you're multiplying with a decimal, forget about it and add it back in at the end. All right, good luck, guys, and we'll see you next time.